everyone. My name's Duncan J. I'm the managing editor of the International Fire and Safety Journal. I'm here at FDIC in Indianapolis, and I'm delighted to be here with Kurt Becker from Perimeter Solutions. Kurt, how are you, my friend?
I'm wonderful, Duncan. Thanks so much for giving us the opportunity to have this conversation.
I wouldn't have missed it for the world. There's so much going on quite right now in relation to foam, and we're seeing a whole different mindset coming into the world of firefighting. We're facing all sorts of issues, and the guys at Perimeter Solutions are certainly ahead of the curve when it comes to putting in place solutions that we need to bring to market. So, Kurt, tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing.
So let me tell you a little bit about me first. So I was on the job as a career firefighter for about 22 years. I was on a busy urban truck company in Metro St. Louis. It was that background that really drove me to find ways to change the life of the firefighters that I worked with. I spent a lot of time working with the union, really driving health and safety issues. That was something I was really passionate about. And when I retired from the job, had the opportunity to spend some time in Washington, D.C., continuing that firefighter health and safety mindset. And I'm thrilled to be here with Perimeter Solutions because, as you mentioned, this company has a real passion for bringing creative technology to the forefront. Pretty much the way that we look at it is, if something's on fire anywhere on the planet, we want to be there on the front lines with the firefighters mitigating that problem for their communities. You've seen us in the Western United States in particular, the things that we're doing with the wildland urban interface, the retardants that we're dropping from the aircraft. Complete game changer. Over the last decade has radically altered the landscape of firefighting in that interface environment. And we're convinced that we have the opportunity in the municipal fire market with Solberg Spartan to do the exact same thing for municipal firefighters, not only in the United States and North America, but across the planet.
And what a great partnership, Perimeter Solutions and Solberg, two great names in the industry.
Two great names, heavily committed to research. We've got 20 chemists on staff who work tirelessly around the clock, both here in the United States and in Europe, to make sure that we're bringing the best technology to the market, to make sure that we are impacting outcomes for the end users, both the firefighters that are delivering our products in the real-time, dynamic, dangerous, violent environment that they work, as well as the homeowners, the property owners, the business owners. We really want to make sure that we're looking at these problems from a 360-degree perspective and bringing the best possible solutions to all of those end users.
And as you know from your time on the job and my time on the job, we look back over the years of how we use foam and the different types of foam. And back in those days, we knew no different. We were dealing with what we had. Now technology has moved forward. We're able to identify the issues with the old style, and we're now looking at how the product becomes a lot more friendly, firefighter friendly, end user friendly in terms of what it contains and the harm it does to not only the planet but also to ourselves. I know you guys are really pushing forward on that.
We are. Perimeter Solutions is incredibly proud of the work that we've done, bringing fluorine-free technology to the forefront. When foam was developed 50, 60 years ago, we knew we had a product that was going to work better than water. We just hadn't worked out the bugs yet as an industry. And as the awareness about PFAS became, undeniable a decade, 2 decades ago, the foam industry kind of took a step back, unfortunately, in the municipal fire market, and we allowed a narrative to take place that was essentially foam is bad, right? And I think it was reasonable for firefighters to be scared about all of the things that they were coming in contact with. We know now that cancer is a leading cause of death in firefighters. It's eclipsed heart attacks. It's far outpaced traumatic injuries and fatalities, and that's why it's so important to have these conversations to make sure that we're doing the best thing we can, both for the environment and for the firefighters. And so Solberg Spartan is a completely fluorine-free technology. It's not only fluorine-free, it's also got that green screen certification, which is one of the highest environmental standards that you can get. So we feel very, very confident in saying that not only is this safe for human beings, but it's as safe for the environment as we can possibly make it. So,
and you look at the whole circle of life, really. If you're looking at the environment, ourselves, and those that are going to come on into the future, we've got a commitment really to make the foundation stick for the future.
Well, we really do. We do. And the great thing about Solberg Spartan is its efficacy. Multiple studies have demonstrated that when using foam like Solberg Spartan in a structural firefighting environment, the efficacy is plus 40% over water. So not only is Solberg Spartan putting the fire out much faster, not only is it cooling the fire environment quicker, it's improving the visibility so it's safer for the firefighters to operate. We're using 40 to 50% less water to fully extinguish the fire. And I think that's really, really important from a lot of different perspectives. If you think about an engine company pulling up on a fully involved dumpster fire, our standard operating procedure is to fill that dumpster up with water, right? And if we have 500 gallons of water, 700 gallons of water in our tank, we're putting that much water in that dumpster. What happens though is all of the stuff that was in that dumpster now just entered the water stream, and it's how we've gotten into this cycle where we've got these forever chemicals that we just are dealing with on a global scale now, and that's just one small piece of it. The same can be said for vehicle fires on the side of the highway. We flood those vehicles with hundreds, maybe thousands of gallons of water, and where does that stuff go? Straight into the streams. But it's not just that. If you think about your typical bread and butter room and content structure fire, where you've got a living room or a kitchen on fire, it really only takes about 400 or 500 gallons of foam to put a fire like that out. But if we're putting that fire out with water, we're pumping hundreds, if not thousands of gallons of extra water into those houses, into those businesses, and the residual damage that's done from that water to those property owners and oftentimes far exceeds the damage of the fire itself. And so we are convinced that not only can we make firefighters safer using a foam-first approach to their tactics and strategies, but we'll also significantly improve the outcome for the homeowners and the business owners. They'll be able to move back into their house faster. They'll be able to click that open sign on the front of their business faster because we're pumping less water into those residences and businesses, and there's less damage that has to be mitigated by the restoration companies as a result of it. So,
and I think you hit the nail on the head there in terms of the responsibility of the fire department to the customer. Right, look at it. And I always remember the late great Alan Bernasini said, "How dare we be anything but the best when our people have got no choice of competitor."
Right.
You dial 911, you get the fire department. You can't go through the phone book and look for somebody else. So if the damage is not to the minimal standard required to put the fire out, You've got to be asking questions of why are we causing extra damage.
Exactly.
And the basic triangle of fire, you talked about the dumpster. We put water on, why don't we just cover it, the smother?
Exactly.
Straight away. So it's straight talking, and I think that the industry needs to certainly look and work with Perimeter and companies like Perimeter that are giving options to what's out there and what's available. I have my doubts whether people are actually listening. People are hearing, but there's a big difference between hearing and listening, and I think it's time for the industry to step up and take the challenge, because the manufacturers are giving you products that will deal with these issues in a ethical way for the long-term safety of firefighters and the environment. So any more information that you guys need in relation to Perimeter Solutions, Kurt and the team at Perimeter Solutions will be there for you. I'm Duncan White. I'm the managing editor of the International Fire and Safety Journal, and it's been my great pleasure to be talking to you, Kurt.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Have a great day.